Hello and welcome back, all of you amazing professional consumers of Pax Dei and Pax Dei related content out there. I'm Altari, the Professional Gamer, and this is another episode of the PAX Friday Review, the show where we talk about all of the fun, interesting, new, and exciting information that has dropped for Pax Dei over the last week. This week, we got clothing that we are going to be talking about with a little bit of a in-depth look at how a very particular article of clothing was made by the artists over at Mainframe. It's pretty interesting, and we have some pretty cool information. I would like to say that I have done a lot of research on everything and anything Pax Dei related, possibly obsessively so. And as a result, we have some pretty cool tie-ins to where some of the historical inspiration for Pax Dei has come from in today's episode. So hopefully you will find it interesting and you'll stick around. And if you do like it, please do leave a like. It helps us out on the channel. Also subscribe so you can get notified whenever we come out with new Pax Dei or Pax Dei related content, and share with any of your friends who might be interested about, well, how a very particular cloak slash cloth piece in game was made. Anyways, I'll see you over at the Discord post. All right, and here we are on the official Discord for Pax Dei. And really quickly, I did want to kind of just flash this book again. So you might notice this book. This is a medieval knight book that was literally in one of the original developer posts for, it wasn't even a post, it was a video where they were talking about their inspirations for Pax Dei. Yeah, we went and grabbed it and read through all of it. Unfortunately, the information that we got today was not at all connected to knightly armor, but I would imagine if they do something like this in the future, it's going to be from this. And really great book, actually. Highly recommend it. I'll probably put a link down in the description. It's not going to be an affiliate link or anything like that. I don't mess around with that stuff. But in case you want information too, I'll be glad to go and send it your way. But what are we talking about today? Well, we got some behind the scenes development for some garments, in particular this cloak thing that we have right here. So what we're going to do first is just watch the video, react to it live, and then I have a couple of things to talk about on it. So hopefully you can join me along on today's wonderful PAX Friday journey.
How it went from this to this. This garment was based on the 13th to 14th century wear called the garde-corps, literally what keeps your body in French.
Such interesting
names. It was a popular
names.
unisex outer piece wear that features long hanging sleeves and an attached hood. To bring this into our world, the challenge was how to build the iconic.
Now, originally, one thing I would say is when I first saw this, before doing any research on the topic whatsoever, I used to call these anime robes because for me, that's kind of what it looked like, is something right out of an anime. But they have grown on me. I actually really do like them.
In a video game. And how do we bring our own language to its aesthetics? The solution to that is by creating separate entities for sleeves, upper body, lower body, and hood, all tailored using the same pattern shapes of chevron.
Now, here was something that was actually pretty interesting for this, and that is because some of these we have not seen yet. Now, obviously, this one is in game, but this one I do not think we can get yet, or we haven't seen it yet. So this is a new piece of armor that is not accessible to us yet in game. And then this right here, I do think we have access to. I think it's called Belial's robes or something like that. It is found in, well, spoiler alert, it's found at the bottom of Zebium Plisson, right at the foot of a giant worm statue. You can find the named elite mob that drops that relic. But really good relic, by the way. Mez 3, solid. But these are some really cool robes and some really nice art assets as well. Now, what I do wonder is if they are going to eventually add dyeing system into the game where we can change colors on stuff. I can see where there are different patterns that actually are showing up here across the board on all of these, but I wonder if, for example, magical robes, if magic items kind of have a set color scheme, which will help players identify what it is rather than, you know, just being able to change whatever. But I really, really do like the deep, dark reds and blues that are on this robe. Really cool.
And diamonds. We had to understand the method of fabrications of textiles.
Here we just have some nice assets showing all of the different things that go into making this. And then there we go. That is all we got this week in terms of new stuff. So we got an image of the robe. Now, a couple of interesting little aspects that I did kind of want to share is what some of those images, those concept images, are from, and I just want to talk about that really quick. So we're going to hop over to Wikipedia. I'll see you over there. All right, so here we are on the first of two different inspirations that we got. And if you want to look this up, I'll have the links down in the description below as well. But one of the images was actually pulled from this Codex Manesse. I am going to completely butcher 90% of any reference to actual history, but it's also technically called the Grosse Heidelberg Leider Handschrift, which is a very nice compound word there. But either way, it is a compilation of, I believe it's German poetry, and it was written way back in 1304-ish. And the image, one of the images that was in our particular video that we just saw for the behind the scenes and garments was something very, very, very similar to this. And the Wikipedia page doesn't necessarily have the exact copy, but these are some of the images that the developers are actually looking at to get their inspiration. These are artworks that were included along inside of this Codex Manesse, and that's where some of these inspirations are. It'd be really, really cool to see some of these other types of gowns and different cloaks and tabards and the various articles of clothing that are even featured in all of the images that are here. And I look forward to seeing that. Also, like all of the patterns that are on here too. Hopefully we can see some of those more Pax Dei inspired versions of these as well. Now we're going to hop over to one last set of inspiration images that I think Mainframe's been using. All right, and here it is. This one's called the Morgan Bible. It's also been referred to as the Crusader Bible, and I don't necessarily think that it is particularly reflecting upon all of the biblical stories. However, it does have a lot of different representations here, though it looks like a more, well, at the time, modern interpretation of some of these more biblical stories. But you can see here's more a lot of knights and some armors and stuff like that. But then as we continue in, we also have the different cloaks and more courtly attire that seems to be here as well. And yeah, this is just more images that I think Mainframe has been using for all of these different pieces of armor that we have access to. So really, really cool that, one, we're able to find all of these things and look into them. And who knows, maybe there is also some lore inspiration that comes from these various texts and manuscripts that Mainframe is using for inspiring their actual in-game lore. But it is really cool to see that they have some historians in their ranks that are going through all of these ancient artistic interpretations to make something that's really cool and really sets the tone for a medieval setting that Pax Dei is set in, albeit a fantasy medieval setting where magic is real and ghosts are real, and so on and so forth. So that's all that we have to cover for today's PAX Friday review. And in terms of any other updates that came out this week, there was a backend server update that happened earlier on in the week, but nothing altogether too new there. They did mention that there is going to be a update for everything else that we can expect, with more details for what's to come in the big autumn update that is on the way, but that is still kind of in the works. So they took the opportunity to feature kind of a behind the scenes look at how they make some of PAX Dei, and they wanted to get our feedback. So if you want to leave some feedback, head over to the PAX Dei official Discord and leave them your thoughts on this type of information conveyance, and I'm sure they would really, really appreciate it as well. But that's all that we have for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll be able to crack into some of these books at some point in time, pull out some of the really cool, artistic, very awesome looking armor pieces and images here, and take a look and see, hey, these are some of the things that we might be able to expect to see in PAX Dei in the future. But until then, if you enjoy this type of content, please do leave a like on this video. It helps our channel out a lot. Subscribe so you can get notified whenever we come out with PAX Dei or PAX Dei related content, and share with any of your friends who might be interested in PAX Dei. Until next week, I am Eltar, the Professional Gamer.